show me hand position on the steering wheel. Try to bring those hands down to that 9 and 3. Like thumbs at the spokes a little bit, even further. There you go. That's kind of where you want to be. And you might need to telescope in because you got pretty long arms, so that you got a little bit more room for those arms.
Okay.
Perfect. We'll do a radio check and head out, okay?
All right.
Okay, we'll do a radio check here. Make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Remember, you can adjust the volume with the knob on the stereo there. Jenny, can you hear me okay in there, loud and clear? Just give me a thumbs up out the window if you can hear me okay. Perfect. How about Craig? Volume okay there, Craig? And then Ton in the back, can you hear me okay? Perfect. All right, we're going to get rolling here in just a second. Okay, looks like that group is starting to roll here. We're going to be the second group to roll. So my name is Chris. You'll get a chance to work with BC or Brandon and I this morning. And we'll go ahead and just put it in drive here. And you roll as a group here, work our way out to our track. And we'll rotate through the different groups, so you'll get a chance to work with most of the instructors at some point over the next couple of days. Alright, so you'll see some stop signs and lines on the pavement, but when we're in a group like this, you don't need to, they're not enforced. So just go ahead and stay as a group, try to keep the spacing relatively close while we're making our way through the parking lot. We don't want somebody trying to sneak in our group to get out to the track. Once we do get out to the track, one of the things you want to focus on is that spacing. You want to be far enough away so that you're not just staring at that bumper of that car in front of you. I'll have you go ahead and roll up those windows, double check the passenger side if that one's down as well. And we're going to keep the speed pretty low here for this first exercise because we've got a lot to talk about. We're really good. I think it's beneficial for you to go out to the track first here to see what you're going to be dealing with over the next couple of days. And also I think it makes the exercises a little bit more meaningful because you'll see some of the things that we're talking about in advance. So don't tell the other groups, but I think it's a benefit to be in the red group this morning. Not just for the shade. Alright, so we're going to be working our way out to our track entrance. Now's a good time to go ahead and press that M button. And it'll probably put you in second gear right when you press that M button. And the right paddle will work its way up to third gear. So you just pull it once. You don't have to lift off the gas pedal. You can just pull the paddle at any time. You can't break it. It won't let you shift if it's going to hurt itself. So that's the benefit of the dual clutch transmission. So we're not actually on the track yet. This is just, we're taxiing out to our track entrance to the layout that we're going to be using. This is part of another layout that we have the ability to use. There's lots of different layouts here on the property. You're going to see these curbs with the red and white. They're all over the place. And they are like a rumble strip. Now some of them we're going to try to actually drive on. And we'll talk about that as we work forward. And we're going to talk about these cones as well. We're going to stop here at these tall cones because we're about to enter our track. let that group get a little bit of a gap from us here. And that should be good. We'll go ahead and get rolling here. So I'm going to have you should be down in first gear. It automatically went down to first. And so we'll work our way up into second, and then up into third. You have to be going a certain speed to get up to those gears, so sometimes if you're going too slow, it might not get you to those. So as we enter the track, we want to stay on the left side of this dotted white line. Only on the first lap out. Think of it like our merge line. We call it the blend line. And let's work up to fourth gear here. You'll see a cone that says braking here. Now we entered the track right there at turn 2. This corner here that we're approaching is turn 3. So we're going to be staying out to that cone, and starting our turn looking across here, we can see this apex cone, the one with the green sleeve, and we want to get down to that red and white curve and put our right-hand tires on it. Now we're going to look up. We really want to work on looking further ahead. And we can see that we're going through a section called the chicane. So you kind of try to follow my tires like tracks in the snow here. The white and pink cone is called a near apex. That one we want to be about 3 feet from. But all the other apexes, the orange ones with the green sleeves, we want to drive on these curves. So we should be in fourth gear through this section. It'll be a little difficult at this speed, but once we get up to speed, that'll be the proper gear. Good, there you go, Jenny. Hitting that mark there. And then this is called the bowl here. This is turn 4. Should be in third gear here. Out to about the middle and then back down tight to this apex here on the inside. Good, now look up the hill. We draw like a pretty straight line up the hill, and we're going to work our way back up to fourth gear here. And now as I look up the hill, I can see 3 tall kind of stanchions up here on the left. And then I can see my turn-in cone. So the turn-in cone tells me I want to be out on this left side of the track as I approach this corner. So this is my turn 5A here. And it is what we call a long duration apex. So I want to ride that curve between those 2 apex cones. Now turn 5B, I'm going to go down to third gear here. So that's a left paddle to third gear. If it didn't already, go down to third automatically. And then a nice straight shot down the hill here. Looking good. Now we're going to click up to fourth gear here, coming down the hill. This little right-hand bend is called the kink. And you can see how good job getting to the curb. Now I don't want to use these curbs on the entry to the corner, just the ones on the apex or the inside. In other words, the ones with the green sleeve, those are the curbs that I want to use. That's turn 6, that left-hander. Now this right-hand corner is turn 7. It leads onto our straightaway. You'll see how we stay wide out to the left, and then we bring it down to the apex on the inside. Looking up for my car now. Try not to watch those cones go by your door, but look further ahead. All right, we're going to rotate. So Jenny, I'm going to have you move over to the right. No turn signal needed. Just move all the way over to the right, and you'll wait for the yellow car, and then you'll tuck back in line. So Craig, come on up behind me. Jenny, you want to make sure that you get that rotation done by those double cones. If not, you need to slow yourself down or stop just to make that happen. All right, so we should be back in third gear here. This is turn 1A. There's no curbing there, so we just try to get down to that white line. Out to this turn in. And then here's our apex for turn, what we call 1B. Back to fourth gear here. I'm looking up for my apex. Get to that curve, and then unwind all the way out to this white line. We want to come all the way out. We don't want to use the exit curve. We just want to get right up to it. Now I'm going to aim up towards this smaller of the 2 towers up ahead here at the clubhouse. And then I have that braking cone that indicates that I can start to brake. Obviously at speed, we'll have to brake more. Kind of think about towing a trailer here as you come around turn 3. We want to hit the back half of that curve. It's third gear there through turn 3. Now back up to fourth gear here, coming back up through the chicane. You'll see me use a little brake there. Use these curves through here now, Craig. We'll clip this curve, and I'm looking down the hill, down towards turn 4. Nice straight shot here on the approach. Down to third gear here in the middle of turn 4. or on the approach to turn 4, I should say. And kind of a V shape here, back up the hill. Looking good back there, Jenny. Back up to 4th gear here, coming up the hill. Looking for the turn in, I can see it up to the left. Position myself on this left-hand side as I approach turn 5A. Ride that curve, now out to the turn in, out to the left paddle to 3rd gear. And this is the one exception, this is the one place where it's okay to use the exit curve here if I make a nice straight line on the exit. That looks pretty good there, Craig. Up to 4th gear then, back down the hill. We want to stay off that curb on the, it just makes it a little bit awkward under braking. So right up against it, back down to 3rd gear here for turn 7. Unwinding out to our exit, out to the white line. Making sure we stay out to that turn in. All right, we're going to rotate. So Craig, I'm going to have you move over to the right. Eyes up down the straightaway, look down for where that you want that car to go. And then Jenny, you're going to stay behind the yellow car. Craig, you'll tuck back behind the white car. So we want to think about trying to make big circles. We'll get back to 4th gear here so we know what gear we're supposed to be in. Then under braking, it's back down to 3rd here. Smooth release of the brake as we turn in. Kind of constant throttle here, just a little brush of the brake to get down back to the right for turn 1B. And I'm looking through my apex here. 4th gear on approach. Try to get a little closer to that apex there, Ton. Good. Good job unwinding all the way out to the right. And now a nice straight diagonal line back up the hill. Back down to 3rd gear here. Look across. Use that side window to pick up that apex cone here on the right. And then back up to 4th. Little brake here as I land at that first apex in the chicane, and you'll notice how I drive around that white and pink one. I don't want to use that curve there because it'll give me a tougher angle working my way down the hill. Look down for that white and pink one down at the bottom of the hill. Then a little bit of brake, back down to 3rd gear here on the approach. Nice straight shot down into turn 4 there, Jenny. And then use that driver's side window to look across for that apex and plan your path. Back up to 4th up the hill here, Ton, and then we want to set ourselves up. Think long duration on the brake, but light pressure. Nice smooth release off the brake, and then try to put those right side tires on that curb between those cones. Back down to 3rd gear here. Then a nice straight shot as you unwind. Try to put those left tires on this white line. Okay, you can just unwind a little bit earlier there, a little more track to use. Back up to 4th gear. And we'll set ourselves up here for turn 6. Starting to look left. And Jenny, we'll gather up when we get back to the straightaway here. Back to 3rd gear here, Ton. And now look up for your exit. Good job. All right. So, Ton, I'm going to have you move over to the right. All right, so now everybody's seen the track one time. We'll kind of incrementally pick up the pace a little bit here, but still no helmets. So see how you kind of ended up in the middle of the track there, Jenny? You want to make sure when you unwind that you go all the way out to that white line. And so visual scanning will help you with that, looking a little bit further towards the exit. So Jenny, you're going to be back behind my black Stingray here. And Tanya, you'll let those 2 white cars roll past you, and then you'll tuck back in line. All right, Jenny, so work your way back up to 4th. And then under braking here, we've got our turn in. We're going to go down to 3rd gear. So we'll be in 3rd gear through this section. Look up for your turn in out here so we get out to this left side. It's just like a real smooth arc here around turn 1B. And now I'm looking up in the left-hand corner of my windshield for the apex for turn 2. Right paddle one time to fourth. And look up for the exit curbing, this red and white curbing. I want to put my right side tires out there, yeah. As we pick up a little more pace, that car will naturally want to flow out there a little bit better. Okay, I can see my turn in up ahead here. Remember, we're going to go down to third gear, smooth the release of the brake. We don't want to pinch this curb until we get to that cone. That's what we mean by apex. That's the point. We don't want to ride the curb the whole way. Otherwise, we'd be making a much tighter circle and we can't go as fast. Okay, set yourself up through here. Look a little further ahead. Visualize this path now. Look at where I'm at here on the right side. Want to clip that curb there. Curb up ahead. Kind of visualize a straight line if you can. Got to use a little more curb. A little bit about a car width off of that apex there. That's better. Pretty close to that white line there. Now I'll back to the middle. Look across for this apex here on the left side. Kind of V-shape. You can go out a little wider in the middle of that corner so that you can carry a little bit more speed. Good. Now give it some throttle here. Work your way up to fourth gear coming up the hill. That's it. Now, don't just look for the turn in. Look across for your apex to the right here. Nice and patient. Trust those tires. There you go. Now out to the turn in on the left. Roll past that. And then this one you got to add quite a bit of steering to get that car to turn. And look down the hill. You can see there's a cone poking up. I want to aim for the left side of it. Good. Back up to fourth gear here. Setting yourself up. Let's put it on the left-hand side here. Coming around turn 6. Now unwind out to the white line, out here to the left. Okay, good job, good improvement. Jenny, I'll have you move over behind the yellow car. So you're going to rotate to the right. There we go. And we'll get Craig up behind me here. And Craig, let's make sure we get up to fourth gear here, just so we can practice that downshift. Now, obviously, these gears feel a little bit tall, but as we pick up speed, they'll feel like the proper gear. So it's third gear through here, just that brush of the brake to get back over to my apex here on the right. And work our way back up to fourth. Look up for your exit, all the way out to this exit curve, right out to the white line. Eyes up the hill here. Okay, now we're carrying a little speed so we can be firm with that brake. Back down to third gear, look across for that apex. Be patient. Good. Work your way up to fourth here. Now I kind of clipped this first curve, just a little bit of it, to help me get a good angle here of approach for the chicane. And really work on, and Jenny, try to work on this, try to get to these curves through the chicane. That's going to help give you the straightest path as I work my way down towards turn 4 here. Now we talked about a V-shape. Notice how I come out to the middle, in the middle of this corner, and then I get back down to the inside. Gives me a little straighter run on the exit here. Good. Work our way back up to fourth up the hill. Braking on approach. Jenny, just work on looking as far ahead as you can. Try to visualize that path. We'll gather up when we get to the back straight. We're always making adjustments with the groups, so go your pace. Don't feel any pressure to do anything that you don't want to do here. That's it, Craig. Way to use the exit curve. See how you got to unwind the wheel one time there and get a good straight run? You can see how you could just be pretty much full throttle down that hill. Long duration with the brake here for turn 6. Set ourselves up on this left side. Back down to third gear. Unwinding, all right. Good lap, Craig. So Craig, I'm going to have you move over to the right. And that's the idea. You want to go out there with this idea of precision and incremental improvement. Because if you go out there and you try to think, okay, now I'm just going to set a fast lap. I've seen the track 3 times. That's not going to work very well. So just continued incremental improvement, especially as we give you some more techniques to work with here. So Craig, you'll tuck back behind that white car. And Ton will get rolling here. So third gear here as we approach 1A. Kind of a big arc here, just maybe a little bit of brush of the brake here to get it to tighten up to that apex. And real important here to be patient. You don't want to get to this curbing too early or you're going to run out of room on the exit. So be patient with the throttle there, and then we can be pretty aggressive up the hill here. We can accelerate a little bit. That's it, Jenny. Good line there out of 2. To that curve and then work back up to 4th gear. Just kind of nibble that white line over on the right. That'll get you set up for the next set of apex. Now I really try to change direction here where that near apex and this next one are. That lets me get a good straight shot and I'm in position here coming down the hill. Now I'm going to brake a little more aggressively going into 4. 3rd gear again for turn 4 for the bowl. Back up to 4th coming out of the bowl. We call that the launch pad right there. That whole set of S's there, we call that the roller coaster that's approaching the bowl. So got some names for these corners as well. Patient, make sure you stay out to that turn in. It's easy to creep into the middle of the track and then you end up narrowing that corner. A little bit of brakes there for turn 3, or turn 5B, excuse me. 3rd gear there. Now use your exit curve here. Good. Get a good run down the hill. A little bit of brakes here, looking left. Set yourself up on this left side. Back down to 3rd gear here. Unwind all the way out to the white line. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and rotate again here. We'll get back to our original order here. Good job, Tom. Jenny, you're going to stay behind me here, so come on up behind my black car here, Jenny. And then, Ton, you'll tuck right behind the 2 white cars. So back to the original order here. And then I'm going to have everybody get their left-hand turn signals on. Alright, so that was a good little taste of the track. So we use the turn signals when we're exiting. So the exit is just kind of going straight there where we would have gone right for turn 1. That's going to take us to our track exit. So if there's ever a situation during this session where you do need to exit, that's where you'll exit the track there, right on that, after that back straightaway. Alright, so like I said, the goal, learn the line. It's probably still only seen the track a handful of laps there. So the corner numbers are probably still a little bit tricky. And don't worry about that. That'll come to you usually by the end of the second session. You'll be pretty confident when I say, hey, turn 3. Right now that might be like, I don't know which one that is. That's okay. But just getting the idea of, okay, the positioning of the car is really important, really critical. And that's what some of these exercises, not this one we're going to do next, but the serpentine exercise will definitely help us with that. Okay, so what we're going to do next here is, Jenny, I'm going to have you tuck in behind this blue 91, and we're going to create a long single file line and make a large group here. So you can pull in behind that blue 91. And then I'm going to come over to everybody's window, and everybody can just stay single file behind Jenny. So Craig, you can follow behind Jenny. Same thing there, Ton. First thing I want you to do is reach up and press where it says stop recording on the navigation screen.